Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Alicia if you're new here, and today's video is going to be all about breastfeeding. I've been wanting to do this video because as a mom of 4, I feel like I'm pretty much experienced a little bit. I breastfed all 4 of my babies. That's including twins. I did breastfeed the twins for 13 months. And this time around, I healed so much quicker. The fastest I have ever healed my nipples. So, I am not a lactation, I'm not a professional. This is just from one mom to another, just giving you tips and tricks to help you maybe possibly heal your nipples faster if you are breastfeeding. If you did decide to breastfeed, congratulations, girl. I know it's a struggle, it's a job, it's a whole full-time job to breastfeed a baby, and it's a blessing at the same time. So I just wanted to share my knowledge with you in hopes that it helps. I have my notes. I wrote everything down because I don't want to forget anything. There's some things on here that you good, bro? There's some stuff on here that I didn't do this time, but I did do previously that helped me, especially with my first baby. So I'll just give you like a little rundown of my history real quick. My first, I had a lot of trouble breastfeeding. I struggled for 2 months. I cried while I nursed. I had cracked, bleeding, sore nipples. It was really intense, and I was really on the verge of just calling it quits and saying I don't want to do this anymore because it was that bad. But I pushed through, and I was, struggling for 2 months. So I was doing certain things to like try to encourage healing and things like that. It came down to his latch. His latch was very small and tight, and he had a lip tie, so his mouth wouldn't open like big enough to latch on and get a deep latch. But eventually, everything turned out good. I fed him from my breast for 10 months, and then I gave him bottles of breast milk after that for the remainder of the year. With the twins, I was sore, and I did have cracked nipples for about 2 weeks, and then they healed up the 3rd week. And then this time with this baby, I was literally just only sore, and I did crack a little bit, but I healed up in a week. Like the 2nd week, I was great. So the first thing I want to talk about is having grace with the baby, especially if you are a first-time mom. You're learning how to do it, the baby's learning how to feed and to latch properly, and you guys are learning together. So for me, I feel like this is a very important thing that people don't really acknowledge, I feel like. But you have to have grace with yourself and grace with the baby as well, because especially if you have a very small baby, their mouth is not that big. And as many times as people say, oh, like get a deep latch, sometimes their mouth is just so small it can't hold all of everything that it needs to get in their mouth to get a deep latch. And I've experienced it with all of my kids. I've had 6-pound babies, and then he was an 8-pound baby, and I still experience with him because he's still learning how to do it. He's learning how to breastfeed. Now he's a pro, right? Now you're a pro. Wow. So having grace with your baby, I feel like is super important. Having grace with yourself and just giving yourself time to learn. So for me, like I said, it took us 2 months for my first baby, but it can be quicker for you. Just have that mindset. Set your mind set up for success by just allowing yourself to make mistakes, allowing the baby to make mistakes, know that you're going to be in a little bit of pain before things really get better and everything is smooth sailing. That was just the first little tip, because I just see so many people be so hard on themselves and just expect like everything to be, you know, great and right off the bat, and it's not like that. It hurts. It's gonna hurt. You're gonna be sore. You're gonna be engorged. It's gonna be a lot of things, at least for the first week. So let's talk nipple creams. With the twins, I started doing this and I noticed that it really helped. So I have 2 brands of nipple creams, which is the Medela nipple cream and the Lancinoa, the nipple cream, Lancinoa, yeah. So what I would do is I will alternate creams, because the Medela I find is very thick, kind of like Vaseline or like A&D ointment. It will really soothe your nipples. But then the Lancinoa is like, depending on which one you have. I have the organic one, so it's very like thin and kind of like coconut oil in a sense. And that would soothe me too. But when I alternated them, I find that my nipples would like feel so much relief from doing that. So every time you either, you know, after you're feeding, just alternate which one that you use. The main tip that, if you watch this video, the main tip I want to give you is to soak your nipples. Soak them in the shower. Now, when you're in the shower, you know, let the water hit your back, because especially like your milk is coming in, you're very engorged, you're going to have big boobs and it's going to be painful. When you're in the shower, I will literally cup my nipples. Sorry if this is too much, but I'm just gonna show you. So I do this and I cover it so the water doesn't hit, but it's still going in there. I'm not letting the water touch my nipple, and you just let it pool up and you hold it there. And I take really hot showers, and I'm sure most women do. You just let that water hold and sit on your nipples for at least 3 minutes. 3 to 5 minutes every time you take a shower. Now, after birth, I usually take 2 showers a day, maybe sometimes 3. Every time you're in the shower, try to do this, and I promise you, it will bring so much relief, because you're soaking that area and it's been getting beat up by your baby. And I just find, especially if you have cuts in your nipples and you have scabs and stuff like that, it really, really helps and gives you some relief. And if you do it all the time, it's gonna help. Now, along with the shower, when you get out the shower, try to air your nipples out. Air them out as much as you can. You might have a letdown, you might be dripping here and there, but just try to put a towel under and just try to air them out. There's also these, I'll put it like right here on the screen, these little like nipple shields that you can put so your nipples don't touch the fabric of your clothes, because sometimes when you have letdowns, it can like stick, or if you have nipple cream on, it'll stick to your clothes, and when you take it off, whoo, that hurts. That can hurt. So they have like these nipple shields that just allow your nipples to air out, allow you to still have clothes on, and doesn't let your nipples touch your fabric. And yes, use them, get them, use them, especially if you're having really, really sore nipples. Sorry, I'm saying nipples a lot in this video, but this is a breastfeeding video. So after you did that soak, you let it air out, you relax, and then you put your nipple cream on, and boom, you should be good. Another tip that I have is to nurse as much as possible. And I know that's like, you know, I'm sore, so why am I nursing so much? But I highly recommend to nurse on demand. Why? Because nursing on demand, it will get you past the hard quicker. Because if you're waiting to nurse, you're still gonna have to go through the pain. But if you're nursing all the time, then it kind of like speeds up the process, because it's like, yes, your nipples are getting a beat in, but like they're getting closer to recovery. They're getting closer to healing. That's my logic. I nurse on demand on my babies, especially for the first couple months. Like, I don't really follow a schedule. Like, if he's tired, wants to nurse him. If he's hungry, nurse him. If he just changed and he just wants some, you know, nurse him. If he's cranky, nurse him. Like, I nurse my baby for everything. That is the solution. for me, you know, that's my personal decision. But nursing also helps with your milk supply and allows your milk to stay up. Another thing, now that I'm thinking about it, what I did when I first gave birth, I would like make sure the milk was right there. So I would like squeeze some of the milk out, make sure the milk is right there, and then latch the baby on. And why I did this, because I don't want the baby just working at it to get the milk down, because it hurts, right? So I want like the feeding to like hurry up. So I would like massage my breast, squeeze some milk out, make sure the milk is coming down, and then put the baby on. And I find that that helps too, because then he doesn't have to work for it as much. And then once you're not as sore anymore, or you know, you're healed up and stuff like that, then you can just latch him and it won't hurt anymore. But I did that for the first week as well. You know, don't get nervous. The baby's gonna be like like fiending for it and stuff like that. But you can't let that get you worked up, because you have to focus and you have to relax and just chill. They're gonna get their milk. You're gonna get your milk. It's okay. So yeah, I wrote down here cluster feeds. Cluster feeds, a lot of people get confused about cluster feeds because they think that, oh, my baby is so hungry, I don't have any milk. No, you have milk, because once you have a baby, you automatically make milk and you have colostrum and stuff. What's happening is that the baby is trying to get your milk down, especially when you first give birth. They're hungry, you're hungry, y'all tired, so they often cluster feed, and sometimes this could be every 30 minutes, sometimes it could be every hour, sometimes it could be every 20 minutes. But once you first give birth and have those cluster feeds, like, it's gonna do you so good, because they need all that nutrients and the colostrum, that first yellow milk anyway, is so good for them. So don't feel nervous about it. Don't feel like they're not getting satiated. Just know that if you just do your thing and feed on demand, no matter how much time in between that is, it could be 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever, it's still awesome for your baby, and you're still giving him milk. You still have milk. But that's why breastfeeding is a job, because you can feed every 20 minutes. You can feed every 30 minutes. It depends on the baby. If you're feeding on demand, it can just be exhausting. It is exhausting. It really is. But it's worth it. So another thing is, when your milk comes in, your boobs will be engorged and they may hurt. I have these like Lancinoa heating pads. You can put them in the microwave or you can put them in the freezer, and when you're engorged, you just like put it on top and it lays right there, and it's so soothing for your boobs, and it just gives you that relief that you need. I like the cold compress because my boobs get really hot when they're engorged, so I highly recommend those as well. But what I was going to say about your milk coming in, I would highly recommend to start pumping at least once a day to start off, because pumping, when you get your milk, you automatically have like an oversupply, and if you keep that up, then you continuously have, it will regulate. Your milk is going to regulate once your body gets to know your baby, but it'll still be a little bit more than exactly what he needs, because when he is or she is going through that growth spurt, you already have that little bit of oversupply that's gonna satisfy the baby's needs. Okay, so at least once a day, and work your way up. For me, I do between 1 and 2 times a day, and my baby is 6 weeks old. If you really want to oversupply, you have to go to work, then keep pumping. Pump 3 times a day, pump 4 times a day, and you will keep that oversupply to make sure you have your storage and keep it coming. You be a cow, girl. If you are having a rough time like I was with my first baby, I took a break. I literally took a break. Why? Because I was mentally exhausted. I was just so overwhelmed with the job and the pain. And I was crying all the time because I felt guilty about stopping, because this was something that I really, really wanted to do. And if you know me and I really want to do something, I like want to do it to the finish, to the end. It was heartbreaking for me, but I decided to take a break. I wore my nipple shields, I aired my nipples out, and I gave my baby 2 bottles. At that time, he was eating between 3 and 4 hours. I took like an 8-hour break, and I let his dad feed him bottles in between that time. and it helped me so much. Like when I went back to feed him, it wasn't as painful as it was before, because my nipples got a break from just that constant stimulation, and I was in a better mental state to deal with the pain. So if you need a break, take the break. I did pump when it was time for him to feed. I just pumped, and that helped me tons. So if that's you, mama, I feel for you. Take a little break, let daddy feed him for a couple hours or a day, and pump, and you're not gonna lose your milk. You'll be fine. But that break is sometimes a necessity. As long as you're pumping, you're gonna be good. Last thing, I have 3 mini tips to help with your milk supply. If you are worried about your milk supply: cluster feed, pumping. Your nutrition is a big factor in your breast milk production. So drinking your water and eating lots of grains and healthy fats is gonna help your milk become nice and fatty to satiate the baby. Oatmeal, whole grain bread or wraps, but you need grains, you know, brown rice, lots of healthy nutritious foods, lots of vegetables, lots of protein, chia seeds, flax seeds. I put that in my oatmeal. Lots of berries, avocado toast, eggs, things like that is gonna help your milk along with your water intake. You need at least a gallon of water a day. And I notice when I don't drink my water, because I'm low on my water right now, that when I pump, I'm pumping less. I know it's hard, but in order to keep your milk up, you need to drink your water. Like, you have to drink your water and eat when you're hungry. And the last thing was skin to skin. Don't knock skin to skin. Skin to skin is going to send oxytocin signals, which helps with your milk production, help with, you know, your connection and bond to the baby. And it's going to let your body know what it needs to make, along with breastfeeding. So when your baby breastfeeds, you know, it sends your body signals on how much milk to make, what kind of vitamins the baby needs, like what it needs in a breast milk. That's why breast milk is so powerful and such like an amazing thing that us women can create, because it's like a healing power. It's like medicine for them. And you know, if your baby's sick, it'll send signals to make more colostrum in your milk to help the baby with the sickness. It protects you from the sickness. It's just, humans are amazing. Skin to skin is so important for your milk production. Do skin to skin as much as possible. I try to do skin to skin, like, you know, at nighttime when we're winding down. Just get them extra snuggles in. Like I said, I'm not a professional. I am just a mom sharing what I've done to help my breastfeeding journey, to help my milk production, to help me, you know, continue to breastfeed my babies. I wish your mamas the best of luck on your breastfeeding journey. Let me know if any of these tips are helpful, if you use them. Leave me a comment, let me know. I love you guys, and we'll see you in the next video. Say bye. He's like, give my milk, lady.